he's available, he would sit in, hopefully next week, to deal with emergency evacuation from the businesses.
Okay.
Yes, so jumping right into it, emergency evacuation from school. A school emergency evacuation procedure typically involves a number of things, which is the hearing of an alarm. After you hear the alarm, you calmly exit the building using the nearest exit.
So I don't mean to laugh. Calmly.
Calmly, yes. And there's a reason for saying calmly. But let me list the points and then we'll get into them.
Okay.
Proceeding to a designated assembly point. Remaining there until further instructions you get from the teachers at this time, and ensuring all students are accounted for. So when you reach to that designated point, you must stay there, and the teachers would account for you, and then you would get further instructions from there. And one of the points that we should not overlook is assisting those with disability or special needs. Always prioritize, move safely, move quickly, move quietly, and again they're reiterating, you never run. So we take them step by step.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the alarm. The alarm for different schools would vary. Some may have a nice fancy fire alarm system. Some would have a bell system or a whistle system. But whatever the alarm type is for the schools, whatever the headmaster, principals would have put in place, your staff should be well aware of what the alarm sounds like and what to do when they hear this alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So I know at some schools you would hear the bell go off at one time, and bell, they say lunchtime, yet in break time, and then you hear it again, ring out, stop, ring out, stop, and that tells you that hey, there's an emergency. Even there's a whistle system as well for emergency, where you do a long sound whistle followed by 3 short bursts. That indicates an emergency. It doesn't tell you the type of emergency, but at least you know that there is an emergency. If the school has a PA system, that and all could be used as an emergency, where an announcer gets on the system and they repeat. They may have a recorded playing for different types of emergencies. Yes, but it's just an alarm which you would hear. We do know that for some special needs in some schools where persons cannot hear, you have visual alarms also, where you would see strobe lights.
Okay.
Yeah, so the alarm goes off and you see these flashing lights. So where the person may not be able to hear, they can see that light flashing, because even though it's in the day, the lights are very, very bright, and you would be able to see them. So that's the first aspect of the thing, is the activating the alarm. Whatever the alarm system is, here there is an emergency and your alarm is activated. So you move to the exiting of the room. Leave the classroom using the nearest designated exit route, which should be clearly marked. We would have covered signage, and at this point we are hoping that everybody would have put their plans into play. They would have practiced them, because you should practice your emergency plans at least twice per year, just to be safe. And is to incorporate new students, to incorporate new teachers so that they know exactly what it is.
Before you continue, and I don't want to. I know you're sharing right now, right? You're making a presentation, but for the sake of time, I would like it to be an interacting moment, if that's okay with you.
Sure, that's okay.
Based on what you just shared, have you ever done training with the schools, teachers, and students?
Yes, we have been doing training with all of the schools in the Federation, ranging from the daycares, the preschools, the primary schools, secondaries. The college I think the college has a program where we actually go up, I think it's twice per year. I'm not sure exactly about how the college one works, but for the primary school, the high schools, we work on request of the headmasters, headmistresses. We also work in collaboration with social development, where sometimes the representative, the area representative for social development, incorporating whatever checks or what needs to be in place, they incorporate fire service, and they would come to us telling us, hey, I've booked you for this school at this time, and the system helps. It helps a lot where, they take some of the strain, but we from the fire service will still go out and do what is necessary for us to make sure that the teachers and students are well aware of their evacuation, plan their evacuation route, in short, what is to be done in case there is an emergency.
All right. And I guess that's where you could share in terms of
yes,
what is at the different schools.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I know most of the school on the east side and west side would have been done in the latter part of last year, and they started again on the east side for now. I think, I should have visited the Sadlers High. I should pay them a visit sometime this week to, just to meet and have a chat. They have a new principal now in the person of Miss French. So I'm to pay her a visit, because the school would have reached out some time back to have the same thing done. The primary school was done, but not the high school.
Okay.
Yes, so the exiting of the room, we just did that. Move calmly and quickly. Walk quickly, but do not run. Follow instructions of the teachers. Again, they are reiterating not to run. What happens when you run? Sometimes you have a trample. Somebody may fall and you damage that person, and then it may end up in a case where other students now may have to come and help that person, or that person is left behind, and we don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the teachers, the classroom teacher responsibility at the time is to ensure that all students would have exited the classroom safely and would have been on their way to that designated point. We may have a case where, the teacher only does that, and then the teacher still holds responsibility for her homeroom, his or her homeroom, if they are assigned to one. So sometimes we have intertwine, because we know in the high schools especially, your homeroom teacher may not be the one in the class at the time. So this is more for the primary schools, but in the schools also, just like in certain of the business places, you have a designated somebody as a fire marshal or a safety officer. Once an emergency is activated, then that person takes overall responsibility. So it's a process. In that process, after the evacuation, persons move to the designated area. You assemble at that designated area. You should not move.
Okay.
You stay in that area until you are accounted for, until you get further instructions from there.
Okay.
So in the area, however you choose to do it, if you stand in line, stand in a group, just separate off, and whoever teacher is responsible for you at that time, they are responsible for making a head count and giving it to that person, the fire marshal or the safety officer,
Right.
who is overall in charge of the emergency procedure.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we're talking about evacuation, right? I know we're talking about evacuation. However, though, it's the first time we're talking about schools. We've touched based on homes, we've touched based on business places, but we have never had a conversation about schools. So forgive me for interrupting you. I'm a bit curious and intrigued about what's happening at the school end. For example, what type of fire extinguishers are at the school and where are they located?
Well, for most of the schools, the fire extinguishers are ABC, and it's mostly in the kitchen for the primary schools or the homeic areas for the high schools. Most schools have extinguishers in the offices as well, because there, you have the computers and certain other things. Excuse me. In the classrooms, most classrooms do not have fire extinguishers.
Okay.
It's kind of unlikely for a fire to start in the classroom itself. But in the event that it happens, one could be used from whichever extinguisher point is closest. You use one from that point. Most of the schools which were newly built have a fire suppression system, though, where they have a fire line, a force aid hose, that you just turn on and you pull that hose, and you can extinguish the fire with water.
Okay.
That's a very good way. And as I said, because the classroom are mainly made up of desks and chairs, the likelihood of having a fire started in the class is basically slim to none.
Okay.
It has to be something malicious, may I say, that would cause a fire in a classroom per se.
I get you.
So, and you would have missed the computer labs. The computer labs for most schools are outfitted with extinguishers as well.
Okay.
In that, most of those would have CO2 extinguishers. That's the recommended one for them.
That's because of the chemicals, the different type of chemical agents, right?
No, the electronic equipment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The CO2 would work best on them. If you use the the dry chem, it bakes itself onto whichever board is burning within the computer, and it damages the bone over time.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, so the procedure in schools, most schools have a green space. If it's, let's say it's an earthquake evacuation, you can use that green space right within the school. There are other schools have adjacent places that they may need to travel to, depending on the emergency. So where you may have a fire in the school, the green space may not be ideal, because the green space is in the center of the school. For some has a field adjacent to them, but it depends on the wind direction. If the wind direction at the time is pushing towards that green space, moving the students to that space is not recommended, because then you're putting them in the smoke.
Right.
So it's recommended, sometimes the wind direction changes. So you may have had a plan, and your plan is, hey, if this happens, we go to here, but the wind direction today is not feasible for that. Then we always recommend an alternative route. Again, the fire marshal, that person should be so much intrigued, have so much knowledge about what is going on, because that's the job. It's an assignment, and you take that assignment very, very seriously. So that person would give the instructions, because we are assuming that they would be more versed on these matters.
Okay. What about schools that, with disability, children with disabilities? Let me put it that way. How do you deal with schools of that magnitude?
Well, with children with disabilities, and there's class nursery with that as well.
Okay.
You have a lesser number of children to teacher. So, where in a primary school you may have, say, 20 children in one class with one teacher. With a nursery, you should have just 3 children to one teacher.
Okay.
Because most times you would have children that cannot walk, and the teacher would have to carry at least 2 of those children. So, let me say the teacher could command two persons she have to carry, and maybe she have one walker that can hold on to her and go along. So that's the reason for having just one teacher to 3 children. As the students become bigger, you move up to like a preschool where you have about 1 teacher to 5 children. 5 to 7, I think you can do at that point, because the children are more agile, they can move around themselves, and you can speak to them and instruct them instead of having to take them.
Gotcha.
So the 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, you can actually tell them to hold hands or hold on each other's shoulder, which put them in a queue, and just lead them while they walk. It's easier than carrying persons from the nursery section.
Right.
So back to the question about the disability, then persons with disability special needs, then you have, it's the same concept where you have less students to 1 teacher. So that 1 teacher should be able, according to the needs, to help. You would also have persons, even though they may have a disability, they can assist with someone who is more or less mobile than they are. So, in practicing the plan, all of these things are done. And I could recall doing a drill at a school where there was this one student with a wheelchair. And if you see the amount of children fighting to help that one student, it shows that all is not lost.
Yeah.
All is not lost.
Yeah. It's not doom and gloom. No.
Not at all, because they recognize, hey, this fellow want a little help. And everybody run to help. I mean, it could be chaotic, because where it takes only 1 to 4 persons, you have 10 wanting to do the job.
Here's another question for you, and this one is coming from the social media end. And I could see why. Like I said before, first time we're having a conversation about schools. I know we're talking about evacuation, my friend. However, the people are intrigued. For example, this person is asking about automatic sprinklers in school. Are there any available in the schools in case of a fire?
I'm thinking, I don't remember seeing any automatic sprinkler system in the schools. But what I do know is that some schools have a fire alarm system that, just like some of the businesses, would send the alarm to a designated point, a security point, and from there you get a call to the fire station, you get a call to the headmaster, and both would turn off to check. It's the same procedure that we use if you have a fire alarm for a business go off. You show up at the business place. If you do not see any smoke or any signs of fire, you do not break and enter. You wait for the key person to come. But if you get there and yes, you realize there is a fire, then we enter to do fire suppression.
Okay.
So again, I know I cannot say for sure of any school that has a sprinkler system, but I know some would have the alarm system. Schools do have fire extinguishers, and they have hose reels to combat fire in the schools.
Here's another question for you. You start off the conversation by encouraging the children to move slow, right? That's what you said? Don't want to misquote you. That's what you said, right?
Move briskly, but do not run. Slowly and quickly, meaning that you hasten, there's a term, you hasten slowly. And in using that term, you actually will get more done because you don't want to have them hurriedly getting up and running, But it depends on where the emergency is. If, yes, where you are, the emergency in terms of a fire might be right there, or the whole building is shaking and you feel that it's unsafe, you get out of that building as quick as you can. But again, we ask persons not to run because you're trying not to have a stampede, not to have them trample anybody, and for that everybody to be safely in their designated area.
What advice would you give to students about fire safety at school and home?
Well, in what we do presently is we go to the school, we teach them what to do if their clothes catch on fire, because we know that things can happen. You have labs in the school. The Guy Fawkes time, we still can't run away from it. Persons do use those fireworks in the schools, and for different reasons, you can have fire emergencies. So we often teach the stop, drop, and roll. We like to teach persons to stay out once they are out of the emergency, the hot zone, as we may term it. And we teach the students how to use the safe use of the portable fire extinguishers. We also give safety tips as to, what to do if there are different types of emergencies. One of the drill performed by the fire department in collaboration with NEMA as well is the tsunami drill, where schools and certain government agencies on the coastline or low-lying areas are evacuated to higher grounds. I could recall having a drill at the Sandy Point end again, where the high school, the primary school, the preschool were all evacuated at as a single drill, and they had to move up to the upper field in Sandy Point.
Okay. We just have about under 3 minutes before we wrap up the program. I'll let you close. I'll stop the question for now because that can take us into another 5-10 minutes.
That's okay, Jiku. That's okay. Well, I'm here, and your questions gives more clarity to the public, because some persons may have the same questions, but they are just not in a position to call at the time.
All right.
So I'm sure that they appreciate you asking the questions to give them the clarity they need.
All right, then. So this will be my final question. In terms of fire history in schools, have you been around long enough to talk to that in terms of what has happened before, some of the trends you've seen and what has been done to stop those trends from happening in terms of fire at schools?
Fire at schools. The only fire I can recall having in a daytime in the school would have been a fire at a school lab. We know that I know that the old boys' school in Sandy Point would have burned, but that was years after they stopped using it. And we know that in more recent years, the fire at the Molyneux School, that I don't know if it's still under investigation or not. But that seemed to be from some malicious act.
Okay.
Yes, so, but the fires in schools, you may have a burnt out computer which is localized because it doesn't get any chance to spread from there. You may have a faulty wire, an electronical fire, but once it is within the school time, because of the amount of eyes you have around, persons would see, persons would report, and these things are easily and quickly suppressed.
Okay. So the history of suppression is good at schools.
It's good, yes.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it that for now. And thank you for being here this morning. Any last words from you?
Well, I can't leave without speaking about our year-long celebration we are well on the way with. The fire service has made 25 years this year. The official birthday would have been the 4th of March. Sorry, the 4th of January. So we are now 25 years of existing, 25 years of separation from the police force. We still see the police officers as our brothers, our comrades, but we are a standalone entity for 25 years now. And in our celebrating, we have 2 upcoming events, which is continuing on what we had already. Because, I don't know if you saw the cleanup which was done in the Irish Town area and in Nevis in a number of different areas. I am yet to do cleanups in the rural areas, which I'm responsible for, Tabernacle and Sandy Point. We've been having some setback, but they still would be on our way, and I would love to show you some pictures or videos of what we do when it happens.
No problem. And I will share with the news team as well.
Okay, thank you much. But for this month, we have a fitness competition where it's a station district competition where we would have the Nevis district competing as a team against the outstations, Sandy Point and Tabernacle.
Right.
And against Bastia and RLB, which are the 2 biggest stations. Those would be doing standalone teams. And I cannot leave without speaking about our upcoming breakfast events. We are hoping to have a breakfast at the Charlestown Fire Station, and that should be on the 15th of March, and then having one in our adopted spot, the Victoria Gardens, that's right to the bottom of 4th Street, on the 22nd of March.
Okay.
So we have 2 breakfast plans. Those are for fundraisers, for our year-long celebrations. And we are not just looking to come at you just that one time. We are hoping to be out at least once per month in each division. That's St. Kitts and Nevis division with these breakfasts. So I would like to encourage the general public to come out and support us as we try to raise funds for our year-long celebrations.
Thank you for being... Sorry, go ahead.
And with that, I would like to close, this segment of Fireproof.
Thank you for being here. And just to let you know real quick, one of our listeners expressed that they found the show this morning very informative.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you next week, Godspear.
Hopefully, yes, GQ.
All right, man. I know you have a lot on your table now. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening and keep it locked. We have more for you, man. We enter into the final hour of the morning show. And of course, you were just listening to Fire Talk.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside bedrooms and outside sleeping areas. Test smoke alarms every month. If they are not working, change the batteries.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
Are you tired of Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? The Cable has the ultimate solution with our whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Say goodbye to frustrating signal drops and hello to seamless connectivity in every corner of your home. No more
Mom, my tablet's not working in my bedroom. My game is freezing, Daddy.
or WhatsApp calls dropping as you walk around the house. So many people struggle with dead zones and restricted Wi-Fi, and the Cable has the answer. Enjoy full blanket increased Wi-Fi coverage with installation in 48 hours or less. Whole home Wi-Fi coverage is here. Get the whole family connected today. Come in or call the Cable at 465-2588 to get your whole home Wi-Fi boost installed. The Cable, always giving you more. Terms and conditions apply.
Kickstart the new year with great deals and massive savings. Get up to 25% off store-wide for this year, 2025 at Smart and Island Electronics. Get your hands on the latest gadgets, electronics and appliances such as smartphones, TVs, washing machines, stoves, refrigerators and much more. Shop now and see big at Smart Electronics Port Sunday, Island Electronics Port Street and Smart Electronics opposite Value Mart in Shopstone, Nevis. Be smart, shop Smart Electronics and see big. Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details.
The specials at Domino's are hot, hot, hot for any occasion. Hot right out of the oven. 1 medium, 2 topping pizza, and 2 20-ounce Cokes, only $35. Free Coke with your lunch until 2 p.m. Small, 1 topping school child lunch special, only $14. 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $69. 2 large, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $92. Oh, and the big one, baby. Free lunch pizza every Tuesday with your favorite 2 for Tuesday special. So, come on down or call and order now and experience our tasty oven-baked goodness. Domino's, the home of satisfaction.
For hot and wild, call Domino's now.
In the sun or in the rain, life's a journey, joy and pain. But NCI's here day and night, always here for you, making it right. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very
At National Caribbean Insurance, you are covered and secure. We're your partner, your protector, your peace of mind. So for home, for health, for life, choose NCI because we're always here for you. Always.
Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend. Always here for you. Right here till the very end. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend. Always here for you. Right here till the very end.
National Bank is celebrating 54 years of banking, and we are offering you, our valued customers, up to $100,000 unsecured for 54 days. Starting February 3rd, pay off your outstanding bills or plan that much-needed vacation for this year. Quick approval and flexible repayment terms up to 8 years. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to achieve your financial goals for 2025. Avoid the rush and apply online at www.sknanb.com. Offer ends March 28th. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, GQ.
What up, man? What up? What up? What up? What up?
It's time to take the people
Back into time.
way
To my good friend Anne-Marie. Mainly a testimonial to my DJ friends out there. They know where they are. Check this. Boasting openly, you'd never see him without a woman yet. Curiosity was killing me, so I asked him the secret. He said last year you sang a song on the next DJ. And I don't want you quoting